Hey guys, I want to talk a little bit about squeaky brakes and how to fix them. First thing you need to talk about is probably why the brakes are squeaking. And I'd say there's probably three reasons why. One, obviously, your brakes are worn out and the wear strips on the pads are touching the rotors, and that's why they're squeaking. Second reason is probably maybe you started your brake job and a buddy called up and said, "Hey, let's go out and party, or let's go do something." So you hurried up, did your brake job, and you didn't clean your rotors very well. And about a month later, your brakes start squeaking. So you didn't clean the rotors well enough, and the oil built up on the pads, and they glazed over, and that's why they're squeaking. Third reason is why these are squeaking is somebody bought cheap pads. So when you go to the auto parts desk and the guy says, "Well, I got pads here from $19.99 to $69.99, and you buy the $19.99 ones," well, guess what? They're going to start squeaking after about 2 months. I recommend at least buying, one set of pads for the front and rear should cost at least $50, so they're probably not very well made. So these brake pads here were the $19.99 jobs, and now the guy's going to spend more money because we bought $60 brake pads, which is what he should have bought in the first place. And now he's going to have $80 into the pads. If he would have just bought the good ones to begin with, this would have been a much cheaper job. So one thing you need to do is take the rotor off and clean it really well with brake cleaner. I can't stress enough how clean the rotors need to be when you put your new pads on. And brake cleaner is fairly cheap, so if you need to buy 2 cans to make sure they get clean, then spend the extra $1.99 and do so. You can see how filthy dirty these are. 1 can should do 4 rotors though on an average size car. So what you want to do, you want to clean these really good. These rotors are only maybe 2 months old at the most, so there's no really grooves worn into them or anything. They just need to be cleaned before the new pads get put on. And if you're really serious about cleaning your rotors, if you have a magnet, you can lay your paper towel down, put a magnet on top of it, and just drag it all the way around. Because what a lot of people don't know is that the more these rotors are machined and worked, the more magnetized they become. So little metal shavings will really stick to a rotor. Basically, number one, because it's steel, but number two is because it's machined. And as a machinist, I know that it becomes more magnetic the more you work it. Actually, if you take stainless steel, which is traditionally non-magnetic, and machine it, it will become slightly magnetic, depending on how much you machine it. But now that this rotor is clean, I'm going to take this little sander and just smooth out the rotor a little bit, and then clean it again. Let me get it turned on here. Like I said, this is pretty much just to take any glazing off. And like I said, these rotors are only maybe 2 months old. There's no grooves into them. This is just more of a extra step that you really don't need to do. But that will take off any extra glazing or anything that the pads put on there. And then give it a real good thorough cleaning. And then that's ready to be put back on. But there's also a couple other things you can do. One is, for sure, you need to use some of this brake parts lubricant. This one's kind of expensive. It's about 14 bucks for this tube, but it will almost eliminate any kind of squeaking. It will allow your pads to slide better. And what you want to put it on is your caliper right there. The one brake pad on the back side is going to touch here, and the other one is going to touch right here and here. You can see I've already kind of pre-lubed that caliper. The other thing is these are a high quality pad. They kind of have this built-in anti-vibration shim right here, which the cheaper ones will just have a metal clip on there, and that's probably why the majority of the reason these are squeaking. So now's the caliper. It's got the caliper lube on it. The new pads also come with new hardware for the calipers, or the pads to slide on, and I also put a little bit of lube right in there. That way they can slide in and out real nice. But that's the main reasons why your brakes can squeak. And like I said, just going the cheap route. Actually, there's the old pads right there. Going the cheap route with these $20 pads, you can see that cheap shim clipped in on the backside, and that's basically why these are squeaking. But it's a pretty easy fix. Take the rotor off, clean it up real good, sand it, and make sure you use that brake lube and good pads, and we should be good to go. So I'll button this all back up, take it for a drive, and I guarantee you it won't squeak. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of help if you're having troubles with your brakes. Thanks for watching.